Attention in the barn. The judges here will start the show in 5 minutes with rookie showmanship.
On behalf of Washington County Purdue Extension, Washington County 4-H Council, and Megan Broughton, Washington County 4-H Extension Educator, we welcome you to the 2020 Washington County Fair 4-H Goat Show. We're going to start today's show with showmanship. First will be rookie showmanship. We're breaking them up into two separate classes. The first class, Class 1, rookie showmanship, will be Catherine Sama, Allison Akers, Ty Hobbs, and Beth Nicholson. Class 2 rookie showmanship should be coming to the makeup ring. And that is Adeline Knapp, Gracie Garvin, Caden Carnes, and Justin Hardwick. The judge will select some members from each class to come back for overall champion showmanship winner, rookie showmanship winner. While the judge is talking to one of our superintendents, I'd like to go ahead and introduce him. Our judge today is Mr. Matt Marion from Terre Haute, Indiana. He's a 2018 graduate from Kansas State University and was a member of the 2017 Reserve National Champion Judging Team. He currently runs Coal Creek Land and Cattle with his family in Terre Haute. Let's welcome Mr. Matt Marion to our show today.
A great way to start off our show with our earliest group of showmen. I thank you guys for having me out, even given the circumstances. I think it's really neat that you guys are still able to have a county fair. You go ahead and thank your leadership for that here after the show or during, whenever you see them. I'm sorry for the late start. I blew a tire on the way here in Bloomington, and so I was set me back about a half hour. But a really good way to start off this group of kids. I won't go through and ask too many questions given the circumstances we're currently under, but I think all four of these kids do an excellent job with their projects. For me, though, I'm going to go ahead and keep the girls on either end of the lineup, this young lady with the all-black doe and the young lady on the end with the bigger goat down there. I think both of them do a tremendous job. The other two young people in the middle, they also do an excellent job. Maybe just a little more ring presence at times, but I think all four of these showmen do an excellent job. Unfortunately, we can only keep a few. Give them all a big hand, though. They all do an awesome job.
Our judge has selected Kate Sama and Allison Akers to come back for the overall rookie showmanship contest. So congratulations to all the rookie showmanship in Class 1. We're now ready for Class 2 of rookie showmanship, and that includes Adeline Knapp, Gracie Garvin, Caden Carnes, and Justin Hardwick.
give another big hand to this group of exhibitors. I think they all do a great job. We've got some goats acting up in here just a little bit, but the young people in here, they're really working hard, and they're making sure their goats are presented to the highest quality. I think for me, there's two young people in here that kind of surface for me. It'll be the young lady in the black shirt on the far end and the young lady in the green shirt there as well. Give them a big hand. I think they all do a wonderful job.
Class 2 Rookie Showmanship, our judge has selected Adeline Knapp and Gracie Garvin to come back in for overall Rookie Showmanship winner. At this time, we now need from Class 1, Catherine Sama, Allie Akers, and from Class 2, Adeline Knapp and Gracie Garvin. They'll be showing for Rookie Showmanship winner. And for those of you that may not know, Rookie Showmanship is just for first year, third grade members only. Go ahead and call Class 3 Junior Showmanship to the first class of Junior Showmanship, Class 3, to the holding ring. Madeline Akers, Casey Davis, Bailey Keltner, Leah Hobson, and Paisley Chastain.
What a really neat way to start off your goat show. I think it's really cool that you guys have this specific division for these first-year members. For being first-year showmen, they all do an excellent job. Clearly, we have some different types of showmanship out here. We've got some young ladies bracing their goats up, and then, the dairy side, not as much. But I think they all do an excellent job, and they represent their kind extremely well. I'm going to take a second look because I think all four of these young people are doing an excellent job. They're maintaining eye contact. Their ring presence is kind of what got them here. And so I'm just kind of looking for who gets their goat set up the fastest and who presents it the best. And so I think all of these young people do an excellent job. We're going to walk them in a circle one more time, line them back up, and then I'll pick you a champion in reserve. Give them a big hand, though. This is an excellent group of young people. I won't go out and shake their hand, but I'll notify which one's your champion, and then give them all a big hand after we do that. So.
Your champion rookie showmanship winner is Allie Akers. Congratulations, Allie, and to all the rest of you in the class. You did a great job. If that class doesn't make you smile, nothing will. In the ring now is Class 3, our first class of junior showmanship. Madeline Akers, Casey Davis, Bailey Keltner, Leah Hobson, and Paisley Chastain. I'll go ahead and call our second class of junior showman, Class 4, to the holding area. Grace Baker, Lila Price, Matthew Brewer, Izzy Guthrie, and Flora Wade. While our judges are looking at our first class of junior showmanship participants, I'd like to make a couple of announcements. The first is for you to remind you to make sure that you have looked around the barn and noticed exits in case of fire. We do have gates set up different this year, so please be sure to double check that. And to reduce congestion and maintain social distancing, we ask that the stage area is reserved for show staff only. We're doing a pretty good job today, but please be mindful of social distancing in all the livestock areas, especially around the arena. If you cannot maintain a 6-foot social distance, you need to be wearing a mask. Thank you to those who are already wearing their mask.
a really, really good way to start off our junior show. And like I said earlier, in the rookie class, to me, ring presence is a huge thing in showmanship for me, because you can't always control the way your goat's acting and whatnot. And so I think all these young ladies did an awesome job. We're going to go ahead and keep the young lady in the orange, purple, and the young lady on the end down here. I think they just have a nickel more ring presence than the other two young people, and but all of them do an excellent job of getting their goats set up. Give them all a big hand.
In the first class of junior showmanship, the judge has selected Maddie Akers, Leah Hobson, and Paisley Chastain. We are now ready for the second class of junior showmanship. Grace Baker, Lila Price, Matthew Brewer, Izzy Guthrie, and Flora Wade.
Great group of young people. I think they do a great job. I think where the two young ladies on the end down there separate themselves is just a bit more ring presence, a bit more control in the ring. But all these young people do a great job. Give them all a big hand.
From the second class of junior showmanship, the judge has selected Izzy Guthrie and Flora Wade. Congratulations. We'll now be showing for our junior showmanship winner. From class 3, we need Madeline Akers, Leah Hobson, Paisley Chastain. And from class 4, we need Izzy Guthrie and Flora Wade. I'll go ahead and call our first class of senior showmen. Class 5 to the holding ring, Bailey Hardwick, Asa Garvin, Gracie Bell Fleener, Audrey Garvin, Addie Chastain, and Lucas Brewer.
give all these young ladies a big hand. They all do an outstanding job. When you get a group of kids out here of this caliber of showmen, I think that it becomes the little things that sort them. And for me, it really comes down to one. I think there's one young person that just has command over their goat, has command over the ring, always looks intent, always has that thing set up and maximized to its optimum potential. I'll go out and select your champion junior showman and then give them a big hand afterwards.
Your junior showman winner is Izzy Guthrie. Congratulations, Izzy. I failed to mention that Izzy will be showing in the senior showmanship contest now. She'll move up. We're going to give her a break and let her show in class 6, so the second class of senior showman. Congratulations, Izzy, and all the junior showmen. In the ring now, we'll have our first class of senior showmanship, class 5, with Bailey Hardwick, Asa Garvin, Gracie Bell Fleener, Audrey Garvin, Addie Chastain, and Lucas Brewer. Our second class of senior showmanship, class 6, to the holding ring. Tara Coates, Eva O'Toole, Casey Souter, Lena Keltner, Caitlin Powers, Shelby Griffiths, and Izzy Guthrie.
an excellent way to start our senior showman. I think that if you followed along all day, you'll kind of notice the trend, and that's ring presence and getting your goat set up quickly, and having control over the ring while you're showing. And this particular group, I'm going to go ahead and keep the young lady in the black shirt and the young man on the end down here. I think those two young people do an excellent job. Everybody else, just a few little things to tweak, but everybody's very, very close in this group, so give them all a big, big hand.
Our first class, senior showmanship, class 5, the judge has decided to bring back Gracie Belfliner, Addie Chastain, and Lucas Brewer. Congratulations. We're ready for class 6, senior showmanship, Tara Coates, Eva O'Toole. Okay. Casey Souter, Lena Keltner, Caitlin Powers, Shelby Griffiths, and Izzy Guthrie. I'm sorry I misspoke from Class 5 senior showmanship. We kept back Addie Chastain and Lucas Brewer.
Put your hands together for a truly excellent set of young people out here. It's truly splitting hairs between all of these showmen. I really hate that I have to let some of them.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. The judge has selected from Class 6 Senior Showmanship Eva O'Toole, Shelby Griffiths, and Izzy Guthrie. At this time, we'll be showing for Senior Showmanship winner. We need from Class 5, Addie Chastain and Lucas Brewer. And from Class 6, Eva O'Toole, Shelby Griffiths, and Izzy Guthrie. We'll call Class 7 previous winner showmanship, Clayton Kelly and Mason Guthrie to the holding ring. Just a reminder, the winner of senior showmanship will automatically move up to Class 7 previous winner showmanship.
Testing. There we go. Give all these kids a big hand. These senior showmen are truly outstanding. Before my mic cuts out, I want to go ahead and talk about that previous class because that class was extremely tough, and I let some kids go out of there that probably would have made it out of the previous heat. I think that class was very deep, very excellent. But I'll get to this particular group that's in here right now, and I think that it comes down to two young people for me. I think that their ring presence is just a notch higher. I think that their ability to get their goat shown is just a notch better. And they do an excellent job. I'm going to go out and shake the hand of your champ, or I won't shake their hand, I guess. I'll tell them congratulations. But all these people are doing an excellent job. Give them a big hand. The senior showmen have been phenomenal.
Your senior showmanship winner is Izzy Guthrie. Izzy's going to have another class. She's going to move up to previous winner showmanship, which is next. Izzy, if you want to go out the entrance, that way you can come back in. We are now ready for our final class of showmanship. This is Class 7, previous winner. In this class, we need Clayton Kelly, Mason Guthrie, and Izzy Guthrie. The winner of this class will represent goats tonight at the Supreme Showmanship Contest. I'd like to go ahead and call Class 8, all other breeds, dairy goats, junior does, with 2 entries from Lila Price to the holding ring.
Give all these kids a big round of applause. I think they do an excellent job. For this to be your previous winter showmanship, I think the previous years of your county is represented extremely well in here. I think all these kids could show at the highest level. I'll go out and I'm going to play some 1 through 3, and then I'll go ahead and pick your winner first, and then we'll go 2 through 3. I give them a big hand. I think all these kids do great. The showmanship portion of this show has been absolutely phenomenal.
Clayton Kelly is your previous winner showmanship winner. Congratulations, Clayton. Clayton will be representing goats tonight at the Supreme Showmanship Contest that starts at 6 p.m. Congratulations, Caitlin, Mason, and Izzy for your hard work. We're now ready to start our the goat show portion of our show today. In the ring now, we need Class 8, all other breeds, dairy goat junior does. We have 2 entries by Lila Price. To the holding ring, we need Class 9, Nubian intermediate does, with entries by Gracie Garvin, Asa Garvin, and Audrey Garvin.
Really a nice way to start our dairy show. I think this pair of young May does are both very, very nice. For me, I'm going to go ahead and start with the young lady on the end down here to the left. I think that doe just comes together a bit nicer behind her. I prefer her underline over the doe on the other end. But the doe to my far right definitely has her advantages. I think she's longer spined. I think she's a bit more extended. I just like to fix her right there behind her withers and make her a bit more attractive in her underline to balance her out ever so. But that's a nice, long, extended doe. Both of those are very, very nice. Give both these young ladies a big hand.
From Class 8, all other breeds, dairy goat, junior does. First and second place goes to Lila Price. Congratulations. In the ring now, we have Class 9, Nubian intermediate does with entries from Gracie Garvin. Oh, sorry. With entries from Gracie Garvin, Asa Garvin, and Audrey Garvin. After Class 9, we will select for Junior Champion and Reserve Champion Junior Dairy Doe. For that, we will need Lila Price, first place from Class 8.
Into our Nubian does, and I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady on the far left here. I think that doe's just balance and attractiveness from the profile is where we need to start. Love that one's extension and length, and that young lady's done an excellent job taking care of that one at home. Her hair coat's a phenomenal. Presentation on that goat's extremely, extremely good. We go to the young man in second, and a doe that I probably love in terms of her extension, and I actually think she's a bit square in the way she handles her rear leg right when she leaves away from you. But a doe that just gives up some in terms of growth and substance to the one right to the left of her, but a really nice, long, extended, square-built doe. Young lady will round off our class with, I think, that like in terms of her underline quite a bit. I think a doe that just gives up some in terms of performance is a bit more compact than the two ahead of her. I'd like to that one just a little longer bodied and a bit more extended, but three really nice Nubian does to start our show off with. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 9, Nubian Intermediate Doe. First place, Audrey Garvin. Second, Asa Garvin. Third, Gracie Garvin. We will now show for champion and reserve champion Junior Dairy Doe. From Class 8, we need Lila Price. And from Class 9, Audrey Garvin. From Class 8, we'll bring in both first and second, Lila Price. And from Class 9, we're bringing in both first and second, Audrey Garvin and Asa Garvin. Area, I'll call Class 10, all other breeds, Senior Yearling Doe, Never Fresh, with 2 entries from Lila Price.
The dairy show's been excellent so far, and I think we have really 4 really nice females out here to represent their particular breeds. I'll go ahead and talk about them both. The one out of that first class, well, like we said in class, one that you love in terms of her balance, or her lower body balance. I think that one is pretty good right there behind her withers. Just a really nice doe to start off with, a young doe at that, but still very nice. And then our Nubian doe out of the second class, a doe that we liked as well in terms of her balance. That one's presented extremely well. It's extended. Really just love that one from the side. I'll go out and select your grand champion dairy female, and then I'll select a reserve. Give all these kids a big hand. They've done an excellent job with these projects. Pick grand and reserve. Okay. We bring in that young man's second place Nubian doe there into our champion lineup, and I think she fits in here extremely well. Extended, really like that one's length, the side, and then how she handles her hind leg as she goes about the ring. I think she's probably the squarest built one out here. I'll go out and shake the hand of your reserve. Like I said, give all these people a big hand. It's been an excellent show so far.
Your junior champion dairy doe belongs to Audrey Garvin, and your reserve champion junior dairy doe belongs to Asa Garvin. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 10, all other breeds, Senior Yearling Doe, Never Fresh. We have 2 April entries from Lila Price. To the holding ring, we need to call Class 11, Nubian Senior Yearling Does, Never Fresh. We have entries from Audrey Garvin, Gracie Garvin, Asa Garvin, 2 entries from Casey Davis and Caden Carnes.
nice pairs we get into our age does out here. The young lady on my right is going to go ahead and win this class. I think that does just extra length, extension, and performance is what sets her apart for the most part. But then when that one gets into motion, I think she handles her rear skeleton a little better. I think she's more picked up in her pin set there. I think just a doe that balances a bit nicer from the profile. Young lady that comes in next, I really like the underline of this doe. A doe that probably gives up a little bit in terms of performance, and I'd like to fix her there in her hip as well. But two really nice does to start this AOB class off with. Give both these young ladies a big hand.
Results from Class 10, all other breeds, senior yearling doe, never fresh. First and second place goes to Lila Price. Congratulations. We're ready for Class 11, Nubian senior yearling does, never fresh. We have entries from Audrey Garvin, Gracie Garvin, Asa Garvin, 2 entries from Casey Davis and Caden Carnes. To the holding ring, I'll call Class 12, Nigerian Dwarf Senior Yearling Does, never fresh, with entries from Audrey Garvin, Ty Hobbs, Asa Garvin, Gracie Bell Fleener, and Gracie Garvin. Since this is a rather large class, we should have time to be able to recognize our Goat Show sponsors. On the front of the show bill is a list of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Wright Implement, Melvin and Kim Miller, Jeans Extrusions, the O'Connor family, Jacoby Sales Incorporated, Salem Family Dental, Backyard Blades, Spring Mill Veterinary Service, and Cornucopia Farm, LLC, for making today's show possible. If everyone would please give our sponsors a round of applause.
another really, really nice set of does. And I think the young lady's doe on the end, I think, is just the logical place to start. I think she kind of combines the does and second and third, just in terms of her correctness of structure. And I think when you get off to the profile of that one, she balances the nicest. She's the best in her chest. She hooks her neck into the highest in the top of her shoulder. And I just think balance and quality separates that one from the rest of the group. Young man that comes out next, really extended doe. I love the way she hooks her neck up high into the top of her shoulder. I really like the build of that one as well. I think she just gives up some in terms of overall dimension to the doe that wins the class, but a really nice long extended doe to go ahead and be in second. Young lady that comes in third, I think a doe that I liked quite a bit when she first came in, but then when we get that one on the standstill, she kind of shows true where her structure, her shoulders maybe a little straighter. She hooks her neck in a little bit lower, just doesn't balance near as nice as those two does right ahead of her. Young lady that comes in next gives up a few pounds to the does that are at the top end of our class, but a really nice, neat colored doe. Like the extension, the refinement of that doe, very feminine. Just gives up a little bit in terms of power in the three does ahead of her. Young lady that comes in next, another one that we like, and excuse me, I'm getting too far away, I think. Another doe that is just really nice in terms of her profile and her pattern, but just a little frailer and a little would like to square her hind leg up some when you get right in behind her. The young lady that rounds off our class, I certainly like the build of her hind legs, squareness and flexibility, probably better than the doe directly ahead of her, but she just gives up too much in terms of performance to the rest of the group. Just need a little bit extra power in that doe, but give them all a big hand. I think all these exhibitors do a great job.
Results from Class 11, Nubian Senior Yearling Doe Never Fresh. First, Audrey Garvin. Second, Asa Garvin. Third, Gracie Garvin. Fourth, Caden Carnes. Fifth, Casey Davis. And sixth, Casey Davis. Congratulations. We're ready for Class 12, Nigerian Dwarf Senior Yearling Doe Never Fresh. Audrey Garvin. Try again. We got our Class 12 Nigerian Dwarf Senior Yearling Doe Never Fresh with Audrey Garvin, Ty Hobbs, Asa Garvin, Gracie Bell Fleener, and Gracie Garvin. I'll call Class 13 Dairy Doe 2 years and under to the holding ring. Flora Wade. 2 entries by Addie Chastain and Flora Wade. This is just a reminder that the Washington County Cattlemen's Association is serving food on the stage here behind us. And also the 4-H Clover Creamery is open. We ask that since they're here supporting us, that we support them if you haven't had any lunch or need a dessert to visit one of those booths.
Another really, really nice class of does, and I think there's some differences all the way down through this class, but 5 really nice does for all of these young people. Young lady we're going to go ahead and start with, I think just in terms of freshness and balance, I think that's the way to go. I love the way that one hooks her neck into the top of her shoulder. The young lady does an excellent job getting her shown. I just think that's a really nice, well-balanced, nice built doe to go ahead and start with. Young lady that comes in next is probably the outlier in here in terms of stoutness of structure. You know, for a dairy-type doe, that one's extremely powerful. Probably for me, though, just would like to freshen her up a little bit in terms of her condition. I think she's a little got a little extra fat cover laid on compared to the does on either side of her. But I think a really nice, really good balanced doe that's stout-structured, and really like that one quite a bit. The young lady that comes in next is one I really wanted to tie into from the side. I think in motion, that one comes together really nice. I think when you get her stopped, though, she's just a little plainer in terms of her neck set. Would like to change the build of her rear leg, but a really nice doe to come into third there. Same can be said for the young man that comes in next, is one that if you could change her from her hip forward, I think she'd be really good. It's just that from her hip back, I would like to change her a little bit, fix her rear skeleton, but a really nice doe to start with, or be in fourth there. A young man that ends the class with our white doe here, I think one who's just outmassed a little bit in terms of performance, needs a little extra growth, but a really nice doe that is extended and a really good project for that young man. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 12, Nigerian Dwarf Senior Yearling Doe, Never Fresh. First, Gracie Bell Flainer. Second, Audrey Garvin. Third, Gracie Garvin. Fourth, Asa Garvin. And fifth, Ty Hobbs. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, get some goat superintendents and maybe Sarah Garvin together to give me some instruction here real quick, and then we'll get started with the rest of the show. Sarah Garvin and Lindsay Walker, Lindsay Akers, you're needed. Judge, we're not looking at this class just yet. Hold up. not ready for this class. I need Lindsay Akers and Sarah Garvin to come up to the announcer stand, please. Apologize to our judge and also to those of you who are around the ring. We missed a champion and a reserve champion class, so we're going to do that now. We're going to look at our champion and reserve champion doe that's never been fresh. So from class 10, I need first and second place belonging to Lila Price. Don't forget our mask, 4-H members. I know. From class 11, I need first place, Audrey Garvin. Second, Asa Garvin. And from class 12, first place, Gracie Bell Fleener. Second place, Audrey Garvin. This will be for reserve champion and reserve fresh, never fresh doe. Sorry. I'm sure they're already there, but I'd like to make sure that class 13, dairy does 2 years and under 3 are in the holding ring. Flora Wade, 2 entries by Addie Chastain and Flora Wade.
Really nice lineup of intermediate does. I think all these young people have brought some excellent projects out to us. I think all three class winners certainly represent their particular division extremely well. For me, I think that there's one doe that kind of surfaces. That's the young lady's doe there in the middle. I just think in terms of balance and extension and quality, I think she is going to be our champion intermediate. Give her a big hand. I think for reserve, it gets awfully close. I think we bring the young man's doe back in here, and she fits into our champion lineup extremely nice. I think all three of them are still very good. The young man's going to be your reserve. Give them all a big hand.
Your champion, yearling doe, never fresh, belongs to Audrey Garvin. Your reserve champion to Asa Garvin. Congratulations, and again, we apologize for that confusion to our 4-H'ers, our judge, and those around the ring. We're now ready for class 13, dairy doe, 2 years and under 3. And I apologize to this class again, but Flora Wade, 2 entries by Addie Chastain and Flora Wade. Oh, 2 entries by Flora Wade, 2 entries by Addie Shesty.
We get into some of these age does, and I think it becomes more challenging to sort across breeds in terms of types and kinds, because certainly I think we can all tell that there's 2 pairs of does that are similar and there's 2 pairs of does that are different from each other. And I think that just in terms of sticking those pairs together, I think is the way we need to handle that certain situation. So the pair of does on the far left there, I think the young lady that starts our class, I just think in terms of balance and extension and length, I think that one's the way to go. I really like that one's structure and the way she's built at the ground. A really nice doe to go ahead and start off this class with. The young man that comes out next, a doe that's already in lactation. I really like the shape and size of her teats and her bag. Probably when you get off to the profile of that one, she's just a little bit up there in her withers, just not near as well balanced. I'd like to pick her up there in her pin set some, but a really nice doe. Looks like she's going to be a good female down the road for that young man. Let me get into the pair of does on the right, and I think it's splitting hairs between those two because they're both really stout in terms of their build, and then they're both correct and well balanced, but I think it's nitpicking hairs. And the young lady that's going to be in third, I think hers just comes in stronger in terms of her top line. I like that one's balance just a bit better from the profile. Now, I do like this, the young lady that's going to round off our class. I think that goat's more extended up through its neck and head. I think when she gets into motion, however, she kind of breaks there in her top line. I'd like to fix her on the profile ever so slightly. But 4 really nice, different does, but a really nice class. Give all these young people a big hand.
Results from Class 13, Dairy Doe 2 years and under 3. First, Addie Chastain. Second, Addie Chastain. Third, Flora Wade. Fourth, Flora Wade. We're now ready for Class 14, Dairy Doe 3 year and under 5 with Lila Price and Ty Hobbs. We'll call Class 15, Dairy Doe 5 years and over to the holding area. 1 entry by Lila Price.
A really nice pair of 3 to 5 year old does in here. I think it gets particularly close between both of these. Young lady on the right there, I think just a doe that in terms of length and stature and extension, I think she balances a bit nicer from the side. I would like to change the structure of her teats ever so slightly. They're a bit coarse, and I'd like to make them a bit tighter, but still a really nice doe that's long and extended to start off there. Young man on the left, I think one that certainly fixes our class winner in terms of teat structure and shape. I think that one's a bit more refined there. But a doe that's probably just a bit more refined everywhere. I'd like to make her just a bit faster growing, but a little bit smaller doe, but a really nice, well-designed doe for that young man. Give both these young people a big hand.
Results from Class 14, Dairy Doe, 3 year and under 5. First, Ty Hobbs. Second, Lila Price. We're ready for Class 15, Dairy Doe, 5 years and over. 1 entry by Lila Price. After this class, we will be showing for champion and reserve champion senior dairy does. We will need first and second place from Class 13. Both entries by Addie Chastain. First and second from Class 14, Ty Hobbs and Lila Price. And then Class 15, Lila Price.
Bring a single entry in for our oldest class of does, and considering she's over 5, I would say she's been a good producer for this young lady. She looks like she makes a ton of milk, a nice, well-balanced doe. I think she's clearly earned her keep, or she wouldn't be here. A really nice aged doe for that young lady. Give her a big hand.
Class 15, first place, Lila Price. We're now ready to show for champion senior dairy doe from Class 13. I need first and second place. Exhibited by Addie Chastain. Right, we're showing for champion senior dairy doe. 2 entries from Class 13 by Addie Chastain. Class 14, Ty Hobbs and Lila Price. And Class 15, Lila Price. This is for champion and reserve champion senior dairy doe. Following this class, we will show for grand champion and reserve grand champion dairy doe. For that, I will need our junior champion and our reserve junior champion belonging to Audrey Garvin and Asa Garvin. I will need our champion and reserve champion, yearling doe, Never Fresh, by Audrey Garvin and Asa Garvin. And then we will take your champion and reserve champion senior doe from this class for reserve grand and reserve grand champion dairy doe.
Put your hands together for another excellent division of females out here. You know, I think that all all of our class winners differ in terms of type and kind, but I still think quality is what sorts it out for me. I think there's a pair of does out here that just rise to the top. I'll go out and select your champion and reserve age doe. Give all these exhibitors a big hand, and then we'll get you a grand champion selected.
Senior champion and reserve champion Dairy Doe both belong to Addie Chastain. Congratulations, Addie. We're now ready for grand champion Dairy Doe and reserve grand champion Dairy Doe. From your junior champion and reserve junior champion, we need Audrey Garvin, All right. For grand and reserve grand champion Dairy Doe, we have from our junior division champion and reserve belonging to Audrey Garvin and Asa Garvin. From our yearling doe Never Fresh, champion and reserve champion Audrey Garvin and Asa Garvin. And from our senior champion and reserve champion, 2 entries by Addie Chastain. I'd like to call Class 16, all of the breeds dairy weather under 1 year, to the holding ring. 2 entries by Grace Baker, Audrey Garvin, Mason Guthrie, and 2 entries by Beth Nicholson.
Testing. There we go. Put your hands together for an excellent group of kids. It's been a lot of fun to work through this show already. It's going to be a long day. We've got to wear these masks, and we've got a lot of guidelines to follow. We'll get through it. And so the kids are doing a great job. Again, thank your leadership at the end of the day for making sure you guys had a fair to come to. I won't talk too long. I'm sure you guys have heard all that already. So I'll go out and shake the hand of your grand champion, Dairy Doe. I think all 3 age divisions are represented extremely nicely. I think from our youngest to oldest doe, I think that there's tremendous quality. I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion, and then we'll pull in the second place doe, and then we'll get you selected a reserve. Give all these kids a big hand. They've been awesome to work with so far.
Your grand champion dairy doe belongs to Addie Chastain, and your reserve champion, grand champion dairy doe, belongs to Audrey Garvin. Congratulations to both Addie and Audrey and to all of our exhibitors in this class. Congratulations. We're ready for class 16, all other breeds, dairy wethers under 1 year. Okay, there's a change. We're ready now, hopefully, for class 16, all other breeds, dairy wether under 1 year. Our fair date changed, so now we had some goats that, because of their birthdays, now aren't in the right class. So we need class 16. We got Audrey Garvin, Mason Guthrie, and 2 entries by Beth Nicholson. To the holding ring, I'll call class 17. All other breed dairy wether, 1 year and over. To the holding ring, we need class 17, Allie Akers, and 2 entries by Casey Davis, and 2 entries by Grace Baker.
Really a great way to start our dairy weather show. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a dairy weather fit before, but I think it's pretty neat. You know, I think that spotted weather is just kind of the place to start in here. Of the two heavier weight goats that are going to end with more total product, I think he's just the more attractive weather. He's presented to a higher degree. I just think that's a very well presented goat that's still going to cut out with plenty of product and be a nice project down the road for that young man. The young lady that comes in next is a goat that's just as long, just as extended, probably pretty similar in terms of weight if we're just talking about total product and meat animals. But for me, I think he just comes in a little bit plainer package. He's a little bit longer in terms of his shoulder. Like to reconstruct his hind leg ever so slightly, but still a nice, long, heavyweight goat for this particular age division. That's a really nice project for that young lady. And then we get into a pair of goats down here at the end of the class that are clearly maybe a bit younger, but considering we're judging these as meat animals, that's where the problem we run into is just a pair of goats that give up too much in terms of weight and performance. Not that they're bad goats. I think both of them are balanced extremely well. Both of them probably tie their neck in better than that goat in second, but probably just give up too much in terms of pounds and performance today. But a really nice pair of goats to round our class off with. Give all these kids a big hand.
Results from Class 16, all other breed, dairy weather, under 1 year. First, Mason Guthrie. Second, Audrey Garvin. Third, Beth Nicholson. And fourth, Beth Nicholson. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 17, all other breed dairy weathers, 1 year and over. We have Allie Akers, 2 entries by Casey Davis, and 2 entries by Grace Baker. To the holding ring, I would like to call Class 18, Nigerian Dwarf Weather, 1 year and over. 2 entries by Gracie Bell Fleener and Gracie Garvin.
We get into our middle division of weathers, and I think these top 3 could definitely be switched and switched around some. But I'm going to go ahead and land on this young lady's goat right out in front of me. I think just in terms of balance and extension, being in the right condition, we're talking about meat animals. I still think there's plenty of product in that goat. I think he's just the place we need to land in this particular group. The young lady in second certainly has a longer-sided weather. I think he's more extended up front. Probably where I'd like to change him is compared to the goat that wins the class, I think he's a little flatter from behind. Just maybe give that one a shot more muscle to compete with the one ahead of him. When we get into our third place weather, and I think that's probably where the most controversy comes because he is the heaviest weight weather. If you go to hang that one up, he's probably going to have the heaviest carcass. But unfortunately, even though he might be the heaviest muscled, he's got too much cover on him for us to truly tell and go up and handle him. He's just too soft there over his forerib. but a really nice heavyweight goat. That young lady looks like she loves a ton. So, but a really nice project there. And then young lady that comes in next, a more extended goat, leaner than the goat right ahead of him, but probably just gives up too much in terms of power and performance today. The young lady that rounds off our class, a little deeper sided, a little stouter bone, but unfortunately just needs a shot more muscle, need a shot more growth out of that one. But a really nice, deep class set of wethers. Give them all the kids a big hand.
Results from Class 17, all other breed dairy wethers, 1 year and over. First and second goes to Grace Baker. Third, Allie Akers. And fourth and fifth to Casey Davis. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 18, Nigerian Dwarf wethers, 1 year and over. We have 2 entries by Gracie Bell Flainer and 1 entry by Gracie Garvin. Following Class 18, we will show for Grand Champion, Dairy Goat Wether, and Reserve Grand Champion. From Class 16, we will need first and second place, Mason Guthrie and Audrey Garvin. From Class 17, first and second place, both exhibited by Grace Baker. And then first and second place from this class.
Another really nice class of dairy wethers. And I think the young lady's wether that we're going to land on, I think he becomes the combination goat of the 3. You know, I think that the 2 up top clearly are the fresher goats that have a shot more muscle, but I think hers comes in a more attractive package. I like the way that one's built and balanced from the side. Nice, long, and extended up front. And then you get your hands on him, and he's pretty lean, and he's got some expression for a dairy type wether up high. And then I think he leaves you with the most true hip shape as well. Young man that comes in next is one, like our class winner, has a shot more muscle, and I would just like to fix him a little bit in terms of his balance. You know, fix him right there in his shoulder. I think he gets a little easy there in his top line. And then I'd like to just square him up from behind in terms of his hock set. That's just where he gets beat by the one ahead of him today. Young lady that rounds off our class, initially you want that one to be the heavy-muscled, stout one. But when you get your hands on him, even though he's a bit deep-bodied, I think he's just a little bit plainer in terms of his shape. I think there's some extra condition on that one. And he's a shot more true muscle. But I do think that goat's extremely well balanced from the side. And that's his immediate advantage over the goat in second. All 3 of these people do a great job showing these things. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 18, Nigerian Dwarf Wether, 1 year and over. First and second goes to Gracie Bell Flainer. Third, Gracie Garvin. We're now ready to show for Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Dairy Goat Wether. From Class 16, we need Mason Guthrie and Audrey Garvin. From Class 17, 2 entries by Grace Baker. And from Class 18, 2 entries by Gracie Bell Flainer. I'd like to call the first, we're going to break the meat goat wethers under 1 year into 3 classes. The first class will be Leah Hobson, Lucas Brewer, and Mason Guthrie. We're going to break Class 19 Migo Weathers under 1 year into 3 classes. The first class will be Leah Hobson, Lucas Brewer, and Mason Guthrie. Those 3 need to be in the holding ring at this time.
Give these kids a big hand. A really nice set of dairy weathers out here. You know, I think that our 3 class winners certainly have their differences. Anybody standing ringside could tell that. But I think they all represent their particular group extremely well. You know, but when we're judging these things, you know, even though they're dairy type goats, we're still judging them as meat animals. And I think that's something to keep in the back of our mind. So we're really trying to get these things as close to looking like a meat type wether as possible, and I think there's a couple of them that do that for me out here, because even though they're dairy type, they've got some extra muscle, they've got some shape, and then they're balanced well and look like show goats as well. I'm going to go out and I'll select champion dairy wether, and then I'll get you a reserve, but I think there's 3 awesome class winners. There's a bunch of goats back in the barn too that were really nice in class. Give every kid a big round of applause. It's just been an awesome show so far. Not only is our grand champion goat a really nice market weather, but he does tricks too. So, but we pulled that second place in out of that first division, and a weather like we talked in class. Love that one's extension and length and build. Certainly fits into our champion lineup extremely well. I'll go out and shake the hand of your reserve grand dairy weather. Like I said, all these kids have done a great job.
Your grand champion dairy goat weather belongs to Mason Guthrie, and your reserve grand champion dairy goat weather belongs to Gracie Bell Fleener. Congratulations to both Mason and Gracie Bell. We're now ready for our first class of meat goat weathers under 1 year. Leah Hobson, Lucas Brewer, and Mason Guthrie. I'd like to call the second class of meat goat weathers under 1 year to the holding ring. Justin Hardwick, Kate Sama, Clayton Kelly, and Lucas Brewer.
What a great way to start our the meat goat type weather show. And, you know, when one like the young man's comes in the ring, you get pretty excited about that one. I think that weather, just in terms of his body shape and true muscle, he's extremely bold there in his forerib. And then when he gets his top line slacked up, I think that weather balances extremely well from the side. Asked me if he was taking him to State Fair. You know, he's a little bit lighter weight right now. I think he'll be really nice in a month. That thing, really nice weather to start our meat goat show off with. We'll get the young man's gray-headed weather come in next. I think one that is just not quite in the same league as our winner in terms of balance, but still just a nice meat and potatoes kind of a weather. And I think that him and the weather in third kind of have trade-offs. I think the weather in third kind of hits you as a heavier weight, kind of heavier, higher performing weather. But I think the gray-headed one's just got a true advantage in terms of hip shape when he directly leaves you. Young ladies that rounds off the class, one that's stouter structured, has a bit more bone, just needs powered up from behind ever so slightly. Really nice trio of weathers in that class. Give them all a big hand.
Results from the first heat of Class 19 meat goat weathers under 1 year. First place, Mason Guthrie. Second place, Lucas Brewer. Third place, Leah Hobson. We're now ready for the second heat of meat goat weathers under 1 year. Justin Hardwick, Kate Sama, Clayton Kelly, and Lucas Brewer. To the holding ring, I'd like to call the third heat of meat goat weathers under 1 year to the holding ring. Matthew Brewer, Izzy Guthrie, and Clayton Kelly.
Another excellent individual to rise to the top of this particular class. I think this young man's go out of here in the middle of the ring. I think just in terms of balance, body shape, get your hands on that one. He pretty much handles exactly the way he sees. Love that one's build and balance. Big bones on top of it. Really nice goat to win this class. The young lady that's going to be second in this particular class. I think it gets close between her goat, the one in second, and the one in third, because there's some give and take. I think hers is stouter structured. I probably prefer him a little bit better in terms of balance and proportionality from the side. Then when I get my hands on him, that's where he disappoints me. He's a little bit peaked there over his rack and loin. Would like to freshen him up there. That's where the young man's weather certainly has an advantage. I think that he's just a little bit fresher in terms of his shape, maybe more true rack than the goat in second. But just a little plainer looking when I get off to the side of him. Nice long-bodied goat, but just a little frailer, just a little plainer, but a really nice one to sit there in third. You could flip a coin on that pair. Young man that rounds off our class, a nice, deep, easy-doing type of goat. Probably for me just needs a bit more true shape. Give him a shot of power, a little bit more muscle, but a really nice, easy-doing kind of goat for that young man. Give them all a big hand.
Results from the second heat of Class 19 meat goat weathers under 1 year. First place, Kate Kelly. Second place, Kate Sama. Third, Lucas Brewer. Fourth, Justin Hardwick. We're ready for our third heat of meat goat wethers under 1 year. Matthew Brewer, Izzy Guthrie, and Clayton Kelly. Come on. After this class, we will show for champion and reserve champion meat goat wether under 1 year. From heat 1, we will need Mason Guthrie and Lucas Brewer. From heat 2, Clayton Kelly and Kate Sama, and then whoever is chosen first and second in this heat.
As these goats strolled in the ring, I thought there might be a little bit of competition between our first and second place wethers. But when I get my hands on him, I think that the young man's white wether truly separates himself. You get your hands on his rack, he's just bigger, squarer, and bolder, bigger loin kind of a goat. I think there's more true, genuine, shapely product in that goat. And then one that still comes together really nice from the side when that young man gets him set up. Young lady that comes in next, I like the lines in that goat. Nice long neck, balanced, really well balanced kind of a goat. But for me, I get my hands on him. He's just a little sharper there over his rack than I'd like to see. Just like to give him a little more true pop and shape down his top. But a really nice goat to sit there in second. Young man that rounds off his class, another extended type of a goat. Probably for me, just needs a shot more muscle all the way through. Like to power that one up some. Just needs a bit more product in that goat, but a really nice one to round our class off with. Give him a big hand.
Results from the third heat of meat goat wethers under 1 year. First, Clayton Kelly. Second, Izzy Guthrie. Third, Matthew Brewer. We are now ready to show for champion and reserve champion meat goat wether under 1 year. From heat 1, we need Mason Guthrie and Lucas Brewer. From heat 1, we have Mason Guthrie and Lucas Brewer. From heat 2, Clayton Kelly and Kate Sama. And from heat 3, Clayton Kelly and Izzy Guthrie. Holding ring, we'll call class 20 meat goat wethers, 1 year and over. Madeline Akers and Allison Akers to the holding ring.
Put your hands together for an excellent set of lightweight goats. I'll be honest with you, I think these three class winners are about as good as I've seen at a county fair for one group of goats to be represented for a particular weight group. But still, for me, there's one out here. He's just bigger chested, bolder bodied. There's just more to that goat, and plus on top of it, he's the best looking one too. Young man out of our second class will be your champion lightweight. The young man out of the first class will be your reserve. Give him a big hand.
Your champion meat goat wether under 1 year belongs to Clayton Kelly, and your reserve champion belongs to Mason Guthrie. Congratulations. We are now ready for Class 20 meat goat wethers 1 year and over. This will also be for champion and reserve champion. Maddie Akers and Allison Akers. To the holding ring, we will need Clayton Kelly with his champion meat goat wether under 1 year, and Mason Guthrie with his reserve champion meat goat wether under 1 year. In the holding ring, as we will be showing for grand champion and reserve grand champion meat goat wether.
Really a nice pair of aged wethers out here, and I think it's extremely close because these two have their differences. We'll go ahead and side with the young lady's heavier weight goat. I think there's just more total product there. He's a bit shapelier there over his rack. He does have a little extra cover on him, and that's where the young lady's goat in second certainly holds his advantage. He's longer, he's leaner, but I just don't know if there's enough true muscle down his top. I'd like to just power that one up a little bit. But two really nice weather projects for these young ladies. Give them both a big hand.
Place and champion goes to Allie Akers. Second place and reserve champion goes to Maddie Akers. We are now ready for grand champion and reserve grand champion meat goat wether. We need Clayton Kelly with his champion meat goat wether under 1 year, and reserve champion from Mason Guthrie. And we need our champion meat goat wether 1 year and over from Allie Akers, and our reserve champion with Maddie Akers. Holding ring, I need Class 21, Market Does, Mason Guthrie, and Clayton Kelly.
Put your hands together for these young people. An excellent set of wethers they brought to us today. You know, I think I could stand here and talk for a while, but I think there's just one high caliber critter out here. The young man out of our first division, that one will be your grand champion. I think that one's an excellent individual. Give him a big hand. And we pull that young man's second place goat out of there, and that one's certainly no slouch. You know, big muscles. That one's presented extremely well. Just like to fix him there in his top line ever so slightly, and that thing would be real, real good. He's going to be your reserve. I like that one an awful lot as well. Give him a big hand.
Champion Meat Goat Weather belongs to Clayton Kelly. Your reserve grand champion Meat Goat Weather belongs to Mason Guthrie. Please don't take those two goats very far. We're ready for Class 21 Market Does belonging to Mason Guthrie, Clayton Kelly. We'll give both of them a second to change over their goats. This Class 21 will also be for Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion Market Doe. Immediately following, we will show for Supreme and Reserve Supreme Meat Goat.
An excellent pair out here for our market doe division. I think for me, I'm going to go ahead and the young man on the left here, he'll be your champion market doe. I just think in terms of build and balance and stoutness, and then you get your hands on that one. That one's big, big backed. He'll be your champion. That's not taking anything away from the young man there on the other side. Really like that one's shape as well. Get your hands on her. She's really fresh. Probably just not the same kind of balance from the side, but still a really nice doe to come in there in second. Give them both a big hand.
Congratulations to Grand Champion Market Doe belonging to Clayton Kelly and Reserve Grand Champion Market Doe belonging to Mason Guthrie. We'll now be showing Supreme Mark for Reserve Supreme and Reserve Supreme Meat Goat. We're now showing for Supreme and Reserve Supreme Meat Goat. Your Grand Champion Meat Goat Weather belongs to Clayton Kelly. Your Reserve Grand Champion Meat Goat Weather belongs to Mason Guthrie. Your Grand Champion Market Doe belongs to Clayton Kelly. And your Reserve Grand Champion Market Doe belongs to Mason Guthrie. Congratulations to both of these exhibitors.
Four really nice goats out here for our Supreme Market Animal. I think, I don't, between the two class winners, I don't think it's all that close. I think one of them's just so much square and bigger over his rack. I think when you get your hands on him, I just think the freshness and tone kind of separates him from the doe. The young man's Market Weather will be your champion. We'll bring the second in out of that particular group, and like we talked to him in class, I think, if you strengthen that one's top line up some, and I think that's a pretty darn good weather. Big chest, plenty of shape. I just like to fix his top line ever so slightly. I'll go out and shake the hand of your reserve and get you a Reserve Supreme Market Animal. Give all these kids a big hand.
Supreme and Reserve Supreme Meat Goats both belong to Clayton Kelly. Congratulations, Clayton. That's a great accomplishment. We're now ready to start our Boar Goat show. We're ready for Class 22, Intermediate Bordeaux. Eva O'Toole, Tara Coates, Mason Guthrie, Leah Hobson, and Casey Davis. Holding ring, we need Class 23, Junior Yearling Bordeaux, Bailey Hardwick, Eva O'Toole, and Kate Sama.
nice way to start off our doe show. I think that these three individuals at the top are all very nice, but all very different. But I think the one we land on is the highest quality. I just think in terms of the way her neck comes out of the top of her blade, I think her the way she comes out of down her top line, I just prefer that one's hip and hind leg. You get off to the side of her. I just think that's the highest quality individual. Is she the stoutest one of these top three? Probably not. But I just think in terms of quality, build, skeleton, I think that's the one to land on in this class. The young lady that comes in next, certainly the stouter option of the two. Bigger bones, stouter hipped. I think that one's truly bolder in her forerib, probably more true dimension all the way through. She's just a little plainer in the way she's put together. I'd like to see that one just come with a little bit more attractive set to her hind leg and a better build from the side. And the same can be said for the young lady in third. I think that one that's probably, a bit cleaner there through the bottom of her jaw, and a bit nicer up front. But for me, compared to the one directly ahead of her, she just gets a bit flatter there in her forerib, and a decent shot of power from behind, but still a really nice, well-built doe there in third. We get down to the young ladies at the end, a pair of does that probably just give up some in terms of performance. Definitely not bad does. The one in fourth is extremely extended. Like the way she handles her rear leg. Just gives up a bit in terms of performance. Those ones ahead of her. The same can be said about the doe that rounds off our class. She might be the youngest one in here. I'm sure she is. Just a bit too green today, but a really nice doe for that young lady. Give them all a big hand.
From Class 22, Intermediate Bordeaux. First, Mason Guthrie. Second, Tara Coates. Third, Eva O'Toole. Fourth, Leah Hobson. Fifth, Casey Davis. In the ring now, we have Class 23, Junior Yearling Bordeaux. Bailey Hardwick, Eva O'Toole, and Kate Sama. To the holding ring, we need Class 24, Senior Yearling Bordeaux. Leah Hobson, Adeline Knapp, Tara Coates, Izzy Guthrie, Clayton Kelly, and Eva O'Toole.
Another really nice class of does, and I think the young ladies, all black ones, is the place to land. I just think she becomes the combination option in here. That one's got plenty of power for this particular group. That one's extremely well balanced. I like the way she's put together. Could she stand to be stouter featured? Sure. And in the grand scheme of things, could she have a bit more muscle shape? Probably. But I think in this particular class, she's the one that's got plenty of power, and she's the best built one. She's going to be the one that wins this particular drive. Young ladies on the right here, I think, is one that is put together extremely well. Love her extension. I think her hind leg's really good. I just think that that one needs a shot of power all the way through. Needs more true muscle and dimension. I'd like to make her bolder in her forerib, bolder in her body shape, but one that's put together really nice from the side. Young people that round off our class, a goat that might have a shot more muscle than the one right ahead of her, but just a little bit deep in his chest, shallow back to her flank. Just a goat that needs to balance a little bit better, but a nice stout goat to round off with there. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 23, Junior Yearling Bordeaux. First, Kate Sama. Second, Bailey Hardwick. Third, Eva O'Toole. We're now ready for Class 24, Senior Yearling Bordeaux. Leah Hobson. Hobson, Adeline Knapp, Tara Coates, Izzy Guthrie, Clayton Kelly, and Eva O'Toole. Following this class, we will select for champion and reserve champion junior Bordeaux. From Class 22, we will need Mason Guthrie and Tara Coates with their intermediate Bordeaux. From Class 23, Kate Sama and Bailey Hardwick with their junior yearling Bordeaux. And then first and second from the class currently in the ring.
Really a neat doe to start this particular class off with, because I think she's one that offers quite a bit of versatility. You want to make breeding stock with her, let's do it. If you want to maybe kick out some weathers, I think she could probably do that too. Just the one that's just the boldest. We talk about making those combination ones. She's the true combination of power with still an elite look. I think that one's awfully nice. The young lady that comes in second is one you love up through the front 1/3 of that goat. Just love the way her neck ties in the top of her shoulders. She's extremely attractive, and the young lady does an excellent job getting her shown. I just like to make her a bit more attractive in the way she handles her hip and hind leg. Just make her, just fix that, maybe power her up to truly put her in the same caliber as the goat ahead of her, but still a really nice one to sit there in second for that young lady. Young lady that comes in third, a stout, broody type of doe, plenty of body, plenty of dimension. Probably compared to those others, I think she's just a little bit plainer up there through her head and neck. Just like to make her a bit more attractive in her skull and such. Young lady that comes in next certainly fixes that problem. I think that's a nice doe. She's extremely neat up front. Probably just like to fix her rear skeleton, make her stouter boned. And then once you dig through all that hair, I don't know if she's as genuinely bold as I want to think she is, but still a really nice, neat-looking kind of a doe that's pretty wide in terms of her chest. Young lady that comes out next, another fault-free kind of a doe. She's sound, she's big-bodied, probably just a little too plain to run with those ones ahead of her. Like to make her stouter structured, like to make her better looking, but just a good fault-free kind of a doe for that young lady. And the same can be said for the young lady that rounds off our class. I think that one's built right. She's flexible. She's sound. Probably just needs powered up a little bit. Just needs more true dimension. Like to give her a shot of power. Young lady has a really nice project to round off with. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 24, Senior Yearling Bordeaux. First, Clayton Kelly. Second, Izzy Guthrie. Third, Tara Coates. Fourth, Leah Hobson. Fifth, Eva O'Toole. And sixth, Adeline Knapp. We are now ready to show for champion and reserve champion Junior Bordeaux. From Class 22, I need first place, Mason Guthrie. Second place, Tara Coates. And from Class 23, first place, Kate Sama. Second place, Bailey Hardwick. And from Class 24, first place, Clayton Kelly. Second place, Izzy Guthrie. Just a reminder, animals will be released 15 minutes following this show. 4-H members must check out superintendents when leaving and have a pin cleanup card signed. The livestock auction will be tomorrow, Friday, July 10th, beginning at 9:30 a.m. First Savings Bank will be providing donuts and drinks for all 4-H members and volunteers and auction buyers from 8 to 9 a.m.
Really nice set of class winners and seconds for the Junior Doe Drive. I think there's a couple of them out here that are just put together better. I think they're just more attractive. I just like the way that they're built and the way their skeletons put together for me is what allows them to elevate to the top of this particular group. I'll go out and select you a champion in this division and get you a reserve. All three of these class winners are really nice. Give them a big hand.
Junior Bordeaux belongs to Clayton Kelly. Your reserve champion, Junior Bordeaux, belongs to Mason Guthrie. Congratulations. In the ring now, we're ready for Class 25. Bordeaux's 2 years and under 3. Mason Guthrie, Gracie Bell Fleener, and Leah Hobson. To the holding ring, I'll call Class 26, Bordeaux's 3 years and under 5, Tara Coates. This is just a reminder, if you're a 4-H member or volunteer and you're in the holding ring, you need to have on a mask. Even if you're not showing, you need to have a mask on.
Really a nice trio in this particular class. So I'm going to go ahead and land on the young man's doe at the end of the ring there. I just think in terms of presence and shape of her head and the way she balances from the side and top on the fact that she's bred dropping into a pretty nice bag, I think that one's just highly maternal, and I love the way she's built from the side. I like that doe a lot. Young lady that comes in second, I think one that's presented extremely well. I love the freshness of that one's hair coat and presentation. A doe that I just don't think is maybe quite as wide and powerful as the one that wins that class, but still one that's built extremely nice from the side, extremely good in her lower body balance. And like I said, that one's presented to a T. She's fresh, clipped out right. I like that one an awful lot as well. Young lady that rounds off our class, excuse me, another doe that's extremely attractive up there through her front end. Probably for me, when that one leaves you, just would like to power her up from behind to let her compete with those two does in front of her, but still a really nice, attractive doe to round our class off with. Give them a big hand.
Class 25, Bordeaux, 2 years and under 3. First, Mason Guthrie. Second, Leah Hobson. Third, Gracie Bell Fleener. We're now ready for Class 26, Bordeaux, 3 years and under 5. Tara Coates. To the holding ring, we need Class 27, Bordeaux, 5 years and 5 years and over. Tara Coates, Casey Davis, and Eva O'Toole.
Young lady brings us a single entry doe here. I think one that's long-sided, put together really nice. Like that one's structure. Just a really nice doe this young lady brings us. Like to modify her teat structure some, but just a really nice doe, put together right. One that's showing her age and carrying it well. Give her a big hand.
Class 26, Bordeaux, 3 years and under 5. First place, Tara Coates. We're now ready for Class 27, Bordeaux, 5 years and over. Tara Coates, Casey Davis, and Eva O'Toole. Immediately following this class, we will show for champion and reserve champion, senior Bordeaux. We will need from Class 25, first place, Mason Guthrie. Second place, Leah Hobson. From Class 26, first place, Tara Coates. And first and second place from the class currently in the ring.
Nice. Another really nice trio of age does out here. And I think the one that we're going to start with, the young lady's doe with quite a bit of red on it, I think she's the place to land just in terms of stoutness and brood doe look. I just think she's so maternal. And plus, on top of it, I think in this particular class, she's the most attractive one as well. I like her extension. I like her balance. That's a nice doe to start with there. Young lady that's in second, same can be said for that one. Extremely broody, extremely deep. I think one that's put together right. Probably for me, just a little bit plainer in the shape of her back leg. Would like to make her a little bit stouter bone compared to the doe that wins our class. But I do like the fact that she's a little better in her pastern than the one that wins. But still, splitting hair between those two does, I think both of them are really nice. The doe that rounds off our class, I like the fact that she's in lactation currently. I'm guessing she's probably got a kid on her right now. I just think that that kid's nursed her down a little hard. I'd like to see her just with a little bit more cover. She's just a little green right now. But all three of those does are really nice. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 27, Bordeaux, 5 years and over. First, Eva O'Toole. Second, Tara Coates. Third, Casey Davis. In the show ring, we'll now be showing for champion and reserve champion senior Bordeaux from Class 25, Mason Guthrie and Leah Hobson. From Class 26, Tara Coates. And from Class 27, Eva O'Toole and Tara Coates. Immediate following the selection of champion and reserve champion senior Bordeaux, we will show for grand champion and reserve grand champion Bordeaux. For this, we will need our junior champion and our reserve junior champion Bordeaux belonging to Clayton Kelly and Mason Guthrie.
Another really nice set of senior does out here. I think that all three of these class winners represent what we're looking for. You know, we got some age on these does. They should look like brood does. I just think one of them does it with a bit more style, a bit more length, a little bit more attractiveness. Young man out of our first class will be your champion. We drop in the second out of that first class, and like we talked her, she's presented extremely well, clipped in, very nice. A doe we really like from the profile. Certainly would like to see her stoutened up from behind. That's no doubt. I'll go ahead and go out and select your reserve. Give me just a minute to look over them again.
Your senior champion Bordeaux belongs to Mason Guthrie. Your reserve champion senior Bordeaux belongs to Leah Hobson. Congratulations, Mason and Leah. We're now ready to show for grand and reserve grand champion Bordeaux. From the junior, I need the champion Bordeaux, Clayton Kelly. And the reserve champion, Junior Bordeaux, Mason Guthrie. And our champion, Senior Bordeaux, Mason Guthrie. And our reserve champion, Senior Bordeaux, Leah Hobson. I'd like to call Class 28, Kiko Intermediate Does, Asa Garvin, Audrey Garvin, and Gracie Garvin.
Put your hands together for these young people. They've done an excellent job today so far. I think there's two really nice does that represent their particular classes out here. But I do think there are differences in these two does. I think the young man's doe out of the first class is probably a bit more wicked in terms of her body shape. I think that one's probably a little more weather looking, but she also comes in a bit coarser package. I think she's not near as smooth shouldered as the one that's behind her. And I'd like to change her lower body just from a maternal standpoint as well. And I know she's a little bit younger, but just a little bit different kind than the one out of the other class. Our senior doe, our champion senior division doe, I think one that's extremely smooth, extremely well balanced. I like the way that one's put together. Really like the way she ties her neck out of the top of her shoulder. Is she as wickedly stout as the one in front of her? No, that's for sure. But I do think a doe that's got plenty of power. She's just a bit more maternal looking than the one ahead of her. I just think that they're different kinds of does. Both of them are awfully nice. I'm going to evaluate them for a second, and then I'll pick you a champion. Give both these young men a big, big hand.
Grand Champion Bordeaux is your senior doe belonging to Mason Guthrie. Your reserve Grand Champion Bordeaux is your junior doe owned by Clayton Kelly. Congratulations, Mason and Clayton. We're now ready for Class 28 Kiko Intermediate Does. This will also be for champion and reserve champion Kiko Doe, Asa Garvin, Audrey Garvin, and Gracie Garvin. We'll call Class 28 Pygmy Senior Yearling Does to the holding ring, Shelby Griffiths and Caitlin Powers.
Really a nice set of goats for this particular group. I think the one we land on is the young lady in the middle. I just think she's the biggest bodied doe. She's the nicest from the side. One that puts together multiple things, like that one quite a bit. Young man up front, probably more refined and extended up through her head and neck. Really attractive in terms of the way she's put together. Just like to power that one up a little bit compared to the one that wins this class. And the young lady that rounds off this class, the goat's giving her some fits. Nice goat from the side, probably just not wanting to show the greatest, needs powered up from behind, but a really nice one to round this class off with. Give all of them a big hand.
First place and champion Kiko Doe goes to Gracie Garvin. Reserve champion, second place and reserve champion Kiko Doe goes to Asa Garvin. Third place, Audrey Garvin. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 28, Pygmy Senior Yearling Does, Shelby Griffiths and Caitlin Powers. This will also be for champion and reserve champion, Junior Pygmy Doe, as well as grand and reserve grand champion, Pygmy Doe. To the holding ring, we need Class 30, Pygmy Weathers, over 1 year. 2 entries by Shelby Griffiths.
Really nice set of pygmies out here. I think that both these goats are extremely nice. I think it's obvious which one to land on. The young lady on the right here, I just think that one's bolder and stouter and has a clear performance advantage. I just think a really nice doe to start off this, to win our pygmy division. The one that's going to be reserve, another really nice one in her own right. I just think she gives up too much in terms of performance to the one ahead of her, but still a really nice reserve doe in this particular group. Give them both a big hand.
Junior champion and grand champion Pygmy Doe goes to Shelby Griffiths. Second place, reserve champion and reserve grand champion Pygmy Doe goes to Caitlin Powers. Congratulations. Now ready for Class 30 Pygmy Weather over 1 year. Showing for champion and reserve champion Pygmy Weather by Shelby Griffiths. To the holding ring, Class 31, Tennessee Fainting Intermediate Does, Addison Van Cleve and Caden Van Cleve.
A really, really nice pair of pygmy weathers out here. I think the young ladies that we're going to use to win, I think he just comes together nicer in terms of his structure and build from the side, like his extension, like his length, and I like his ability to handle his rear leg and his front skeleton better on the move. Young man that comes in next, really bold-bodied, really stout kind of a goat, just getting a little bucked over in his knee, a little too short in his hip and straight in his hock, just a little tighter when he gets out and moves, but still a really nice, stout kind of weather there to be reserved. Give him a big hand.
First, and champion Pygmy Goat Weather goes to Shelby Griffiths. Second, and reserve champion Pygmy Goat Weather also goes to Shelby Griffiths. Congratulations. We're ready for Class 31, Tennessee Fainting Intermediate Does, Addison Van Cleve and Caden Van Cleve. I'll call Class 32, Tennessee Fainting Jr., Yearling Doe, Addison Van Cleve, and Caden Van Cleve to the holding ring.
A really nice set of pygmies to start our show off with. I'm going to go ahead and land on the young man's doe. I think she's just a little longer bodied. I think she's more extended. Just a really nice doe to win this particular class. The lady that comes in next, probably a little bit stouter, bolder, horned doe, but probably one that's just a little shorter bodied, a little more jammed up, but still a really nice doe to come in second. Like both of them quite a bit. Give them a big hand.
Results from Class 31, Tennessee Fainting, Intermediate Doe. First, Caden Van Cleve. Second, Addison Van Cleve. In the ring now, we need Class 32, Tennessee Fainting, Junior Yearling Does. Also shown by Addison Van Cleve and Caden Van Cleve. To the holding area, we need Class 33, Tennessee Fainting, Senior Yearling Does. Tristan Miller, Addison Van Cleve, and another entry by Tristan Miller.
Another really nice pair of does, and the young people actually switched spots this time. Young lady's going to go ahead and start. I think when that one came in, she immediately hit me as the brood doe. She's attractive up through her head. She's better balanced from the side. I like her lower body balance and her rear leg set. A really nice doe to start with there. Young man in second there, probably a little stouter boned, probably maybe a little square hocked, but just a little shorter body, a little shorter neck, not near as sleek from the side. But still a really nice stout kind of doe there. We'll give them both a big hand.
Results from Class 32, Tennessee Fainting Junior Yearling Does. First place, Addison Van Cleve. Second place, Caden Van Cleve. In the ring now, we have Class 33, Tennessee Fainting Senior Yearling Does. Tristan Miller, Addison Van Cleve, and a second entry by Tristan Miller. Following this class, we will select for Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion Tennessee Fainting Doe. From Class 31, we need first and second, Caden and Addison Van Cleve. From Class 32, first and second, Addison and Caden Van Cleve. And then first and second from the class currently in the ring.
really nice trio of does here. I think the young ladies black doe that we're gonna start off with on the far right, I think that one comes together just the nicest in terms of her lines. Get out in motion. I think she's the best in terms of her structure. Just a really nice, well-balanced doe to start this class off with. Young lady that comes in next, extremely stout, extremely muscular, a powerful kind of doe, just like to change her build ever so slightly. Not quite as well-balanced as the doe that leads off our class. The one that we end with, another good-built, sound-structured doe, probably just gives up too much in terms of performance compared to the two ahead of her. Give them all a big hand.
Results from Class 33, Tennessee Fainting Senior Yearling Does. First and second goes to Tristan Miller. Third, Addison Van Cleve. We're now ready to show for champion and reserve champion junior Tennessee Fainting Doe. From Class 31, first, Caden Van Cleve. Second, Addison Van Cleve. From Class 31, we have Caden Van Cleve and Addison Van Cleve. From Class 32, Addison Van Cleve and Caden Van Cleve. And from Class 33, 2 entries from Tristan Miller. We're showing for champion and reserve champion, Junior Tennessee Fainting Doe. I'd like to call Class 34, Tennessee Fainting Doe, 2 years and under 3, Addison Van Cleve to the holding ring.
Really nice junior division of the fainting goats. I think that all three of these class winners are really nice. I think they represent their individual groups very well. For me, though, there's one that sticks out just in terms of the way she's put together. That'd be the young lady out of our oldest class. She'll be your champion. Young lady out of our second class going to be reserved. Give them all a big hand.
Junior Tennessee Fainting Doe belongs to Tristan Miller. Your reserve champion, Junior Tennessee Fainting Doe, belongs to Addison Van Cleve. Congratulations, ladies. We're now ready for Class 34, Tennessee Fainting Doe, 2 years and under 3, belonging to Addison Van Cleve. I'd like to call Class 35, Tennessee Fainting Doe, 5 years and over, to the holding ring. Addison Van Cleve, Paisley Chastain, Lizzie Keltner, Bailey Keltner, and Paisley Chastain.
young lady brings us a single entry, and one that I like quite a bit. Really broody, really big-bodied, stout kind of a doe. See she's bred. She's dropping a pretty good udder down. Just a really nice doe there. I think broody, stout, powerful kind of doe. Give her a big hand.
Results from Class 34, Tennessee Fainting Doe, 2 years and under 3. Belongs to first place, Addison Van Cleve. We're ready for Class 35, Tennessee Fainting Does, 5 years and over. Addison Van Cleve. Paisley Chastain. In the ring now, we have Class 35, Tennessee Fainting Doe, 5 years and over. Addison Van Cleve, Paisley Chastain, Lizzie Kellner, Bailey Kellner, and Paisley Chastain. After this class, we will show for champion and reserve champion senior Tennessee Fainting Does. We'll need from Class 34, Addison Van Cleve, and first and second from this class.
Another really nice class, the Fainting Goats. I think the young lady's red kind of spotted up, though, out there is the one we're going to land on. I just think in terms of balance and presentation, I think she looks extremely nice. Neckties good out of the top of her shoulder. She's big-bodied. That one's put together really well. Young lady's all black weather, one that's been taken care of extremely well. Big-bodied, extremely good hair coat. You tell she puts a lot of work in, time at home with those. Probably for me today, just not quite as attractive from the side as the other doe, but still a high quality individual I like an awful lot. Young lady's kind of brown doe that comes out next. Really long-bodied, long-sided kind of a doe. Just a little bit frailer and a little bit plainer in the way she's put together. Just not near as high quality as the two ahead of her from the profile. The young lady's black doe that comes out next. Probably the longest necked one we've seen in this division yet. Really like the horn set on that one. Really neat. Just a little bit plainer in his hind leg, needs a shot of power, just needs to be a bit more attractive. Young lady that rounds off our class, another really nice horned one, probably a little stouter than the one directly ahead of her. Just like to fix her top line a little bit, fix her out of her hip there, but still a really nice doe to round off this class with. Give him a big hand.
From Class 35, Tennessee Fainting Does, 5 years and over. First, Lizzie Keltner. Second, Addison Van Cleve. Third, Bailey Keltner. Fourth, Paisley Chastain. And fifth, Paisley Chastain. We are now going... We're now going to show for champion and reserve champion Tennessee. Champion and reserve champion Senior Tennessee Fainting Doe. From Class 34, we need Addison Van Cleve. And from Class 35, we need Lizzie Keltner and Addison Van Cleve. Immediately following that class, we will select for Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion Tennessee Fainting Doe. We will need our Junior Champion and Reserve Champion Tristan Miller and Addison Van Cleve in the holding ring. From Class 34, Addison Van Cleve, and from Class 35, Lizzie Keltner and Addison Van Cleve.
Really a high quality set of senior does here. I think the class winners, although they're polar opposites, are both very good. I think I'll just go ahead and side with the extra power and dimension in the young lady's first class winner. The young lady out of our second class will be reserved. Give them both a big hand.
Your champion Senior Tennessee Fainting Doe belongs to Addison Van Cleve. Your reserve champion Senior Tennessee Fainting Doe belongs to Lizzie Keltner. We're now ready to show for Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion Tennessee Fainting Doe. We need our junior champion belonging to Tristan Miller and our reserve champion belonging to Addison Van Cleve. And then our other senior champion belonging to Addison Van Cleve and reserve senior champion belonging to Lizzie Keltner. We need our junior champion, Tennessee Fainting Doe, belonging to Tristan Miller. Bailey, that's you? We need our reserve champion, junior Tennessee Fainting Doe, belonging to Addison Van Cleve. Which one do you have, Lindy? Do you have the junior reserve? You have the junior reserve, Lindy?
Out here for our champion fainting goat. It's been a really neat experience. I've never had the opportunity to judge fainting goats before. A little different, but still, I think we still look for the fundamental livestock qualities. I think both these does represent their classes extremely well. I just think there's one of them that's so overwhelming in terms of power and dimension and shape, and then still being better balanced on top of it. Young lady out of our older division is going to be your champion today. Give her a big hand. We pull that reserve doe in there, and I think she fits into this group extremely nicely, extremely well balanced. Like the way that one's put together. She's very, very good from the side, and that's why she's going to be your reserve champion today. Give her a big hand. Good job, guys.
Champion Tennessee Fainting Doe belongs to Addison Van Cleve. Your reserve grand champion Tennessee Fainting Doe belongs to Lizzie Keltner. Congratulations, girls. Before we bring in our Class 36 Tennessee Fainting Wethers under 1 year, I would like to read the names of our seniors. Our senior members are Lucas Brewer, Addie Chastain, Clayton Kelly, Trevin Miller, and Casey Souter. Very proud of our senior GOAT project members. They also have banners hanging up in the 4-H building that they need to collect at some time before the end of the fair. These banners were sponsored by Sheriff Brent Miller. Congratulations to our GOAT Club members. Congratulations, seniors. We're ready for Class 36, Tennessee Fainting Wethers under 1 year. Caden Van Cleve, Bailey Keltner, Lindsay Keltner, and Casey Souter. We'll call Class 37, Tennessee Fainting Weathers, 1 year and over, Addison Van Cleve and Lizzie Keltner to the holding ring.
Really nice class of weathers here, and I think these two at the top could go either way. I just think that there's some subtle differences between the two. And the young lady's the one we're going to land on because I think when you get your hands on him, he's more genuinely bold over his rack. I think he's got more true shape over his loin. I just think there's a shot more power and shot more fresh shape in that sheep. And considering these are market animals, we still need to have some cutout value. That's not to say the young man's weather's not any good. I mean, that one's presented extremely well. Love that one's balance from the side. And from his loin and hip, he's got a ton of muscle. It's just when I grab him right over his rack, he's a little sharper and a little more peaked there. Would like to give him just a little bolder forerib and a little bit more real shape there over his rack. I think both those weathers are just different, both very good. Young lady that comes in next, a long-bodied, extended kind of a weather. I think just compared to the two ahead of him, just a little greener today. Just needs a little more time, a little more days on feed. I think the same can be said for the young lady that rounds off our class. That one's a little deeper than this one. I think still just too green, a little lightweight today to compete with the ones ahead of them. Give all four of these individuals a big round of applause.
From Class 36, Tennessee Fainting Weathers, under 1 year. First, Casey Souter. Second, Caden Van Cleve. Third, Bailey Keltner. Fourth, Lizzie Keltner. Congratulations. We're now showing in the ring Class 37, Tennessee Fainting Weathers, 1 year and over. Great demonstration, Casey. Class 37, Addison Van Cleve and Lizzie Keltner. Following this class, we will select for champion and reserve champion, Tennessee Fainting Weather. We'll need from Class 36, Casey Souter and Caden Van Cleve. And first and second from Class 37.
really nice pair of older weathers here, and I think it's a coin flip here because of composition carcass concerns on one of them, but I still think that he's got more genuine muscle in him. I think he's a better balanced goat. I just think he's presented extremely well too. Now he is pretty chubby, would like to peel some of that fat off of him, and that's where the goat in second has an advantage. He's certainly leaner, certainly hang that carcass up. He's going to have a leaner, shapelier carcass. For me, though, he just doesn't have quite as much shape and power packed into him. He certainly is longer and more extended. Like I said, there's trade-offs between the two. Just given day, I think I like him the way I placed him. So give him a big hand.
From Class 37, Tennessee Fainting Weathers, 1 year and older. First, Addison Van Cleve. Second, Lizzie Keltner. We're now ready to select champion and reserve champion, Tennessee Fainting Weathers. From Class 36, we need Casey Souter and Caden Van Cleve. And from Class 37, Addison Van Cleve and Lizzie Keltner.
As we go to select our final champion, give all these young people a round of applause. It's been a long day. We've had to wear masks. It's been a pain in the butt. But I think at this point in time, I think it's extremely important for us to continue to have these livestock shows and events like these, to continue to raise these kids the right way. I was just talking with somebody the other day about how this will be the last year of my sister's show, and we've been showing for it'll be the 16th year now. But we'll be done after this year, and it goes by faster than you think. But we've learned a lot from it, and we've learned how to persevere through things. And I think we can all attest that the life lessons and perseverance that these livestock show kids have has been extremely crucial this year. And so that being said, I won't talk too long. Give a big hand to the people that put on your show. Give a big hand to the people that made sure you had a show. And then, give a big hand to these kids because, they were in here working their butts off all day, had to wear masks the whole time. I couldn't even keep mine on the whole time. So, give them a big hand. They're awesome. Kids, go home and thank your parents. I won't talk too long. Go out and shake the hand of your champion and reserve. I think that there's some differences in these goats just in terms of muscle shape and where they're at maturity-wise. For me, I think I got to go with the fresher goat, the young lady out of the lighter weight group. He'll be your champion, and then that one in the back will be reserved. Give them both a big hand.
Your champion, Tennessee Fainting Weather, belonged to Casey Souter. Your reserve champion, Tennessee Fainting Weather, belonged to Addison Van Cleve. Congratulations to all of our goat exhibitors. We want to thank our judge, Mr. Matt Marion, our goat superintendents, Lindsay Akers, Tom Coates, and Jeremy Hardwick for all they do to make this show possible, as well as all the volunteers and parents that helped along the way. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you tonight at 6 p.m. at the Supreme Showmanship Contest. Thank you.